Okay, ready.
Okay, so as I advanced yesterday, I think the values in Spain are so different from those in China. I think here we are more influenced by the American sphere, and the society is much more oriented to the individual. Like it's all about the individual likings and choices, and usually the people make their own way through life without listening much to other people's opinion. I think in that sense, China is much more how to say collective, or people are more influenced by their parents or something. Here is quite the opposite.
Hmm. I
Okay.
think
Mm,
What about your countries, guys?
what who went first?
let me think. So I think in Colombia and Latin American culture, we are we are we are not super collectivist. Like we don't um, think too much about groups when we take decisions. Like
Mhm.
so, I think that people will take decisions according to there's like I think there's two strong relations to group identities, which would be family and maybe the country in terms of politics. So
Mm,
Mhm.
people are very close to these two um, like mindsets, you know. So um, that kind of directs people's, and then and then also the individual. So it's like the country, the family, and then the individual. I think what people relate to, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, we have like society weighs on the way people choose things, um, but we kind of have a relation with in which we don't really respect so much what society would say. Like we
mm,
see, actually, we have a whole like morality about kind of like being against what society thinks or wants. Like I can kind of know like also like American liberal identity.
Yeah.
So people will kind of joke about it and then will make music against it and then not care. But then you will also find people who kind of try to stay along more the lines of the family, um, the like the Christian ethic is also important, the Catholic values, um, and then they kind of try to be social, political subjects. So then they also kind of have that. I think that's kind of how people have in general.
mm, yeah.
Right.
In my country, because it's the Asian country, that kind of thing. So we are there is a collectiveness in here. Like people still care about what others think about themselves. It's still very common. Like what's your friends, your society thinks about somebody. It's like it's people still care so much about that, but like um there is a lot of people too who don't care about that, but uh in general people in Indonesia still care about what society thinks, and In my country, there is a lot of religions, and the majority of religions is Muslim. So politics and society is based on Muslims usually. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, there is a Christians too. There is a Buddhist, but they still a kind of minority. Like there is not so much people who believe in that. Like the majority is Muslim. So yeah, we're still. I think the mindset is still little bit care about what people thinks and based on the religion like that.
So Sandra, I want to ask one question. How is the like the majority, the Muslim majority, how do they view the Chinese people in Indonesia?
Oh, there is a long story. Like, basically, the Chinese people have been in Indonesia for a long time ago. Like, from Kingdom era, there is also a Chinese people who sell in here. Um, there is different in every era and every place. Some are good, like some are peace, and some are a little bit not good, like little bit there is a racism like that. Because yeah, some people, some Muslims also different. Some kind of there is a fanatic one and not that fanatic. So yeah, it can be different, but nowadays it's all good. Like people begin to respect each other. Yeah.
Okay, for me it's a bit. You know, Spain used to be a very Catholic place, very Catholic country, but now the people don't really believe in anything, or like maybe the oldest ones, like 60, 70 years old, they do practice religion, but the younger ones, they really don't care about that.
In Colombia, it's the same.
Oh.
I mean, we still have, maybe if you go to more like the countryside, um, older people, like the more traditional sides of society, will still be more Catholic, but also it's been decreasing a lot, a lot. It's still, I think it must still be more Catholic than like other countries. I mean, Latin America is still quite Catholic, but it's decreasing. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
think
think
it's a general trend for almost all the countries, but maybe in Muslim countries it's still strong, is it?
Yeah, in here it's so strong. Like because my country, like they have rules, and the first rule is to believe in God. And in Indonesia there is a 5 religions. Even in our ID card there is a religion. So like
actually?
maybe people nowadays is more respectful than the older generation, but still they believe in religion. Like the Catholic also very strong. Like they always go to church. Even the younger generation. Yeah, that's my country.
Wow,
Hey,
that's so, for a Western person, it's so like insolite, or how to say, so strange to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, it's still strong. But yeah, some kind of individual also don't really care about religions, but majority is still strong.
I have a question. I have a question. So, what would what would you say is the ethics inside Islam? like at least in Indonesia? Or do you know about the Islam like religion inside, or maybe do you relate more to Buddhism, Sandria?
How? Wait.
I mean,
How?
you are Muslim? No, you are Buddhist, right?
Oh, no, I Catholic.
You are Catholic?
Yeah,
Really? No
really.
way.
In my
I
ID
didn't know.
card.
Why? Why are you Catholic?
Because my parent is okay. We are same. Because my parent is Catholic, so in my ID card it's also Catholic. It's just like that.
Oh, so your parents are both Catholic?
Yeah.
Why?
The first time I met Cynthia, she
It's
was
like
on
that.
her way to the church.
It was in a
What?
church?
Yeah, she was on her way to the church.
Oh yeah. In
And
bus. So I met V in the bus in Xiamen when I want to go to church.
so you
You know?
are
Yeah, I'm Catholic.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what is your question about Muslims?
Well, actually my question is how the religion makes the ethics of the people.
Um,
So maybe we
uh,
can talk about Catholicism in Indonesia, in Colombia, and in Spain. Maybe we can compare how Catholicism
oh,
works in the three countries.
okay. So basically, our country is not Islamic country, not like that. But our rules, it's like believe in God. So there is a lot of God in your country. There is a 5 religion in Indonesia, but some because the majority is Muslim, so the laws, there is a lot of laws that inspired by Al-Quran, by Muslims rules. For example, like mm, maybe this one, like the rules of wedding, like how to marry someone. It's like marry someone or divorce rules. It's like a lot of rules that inspire from Al-Quran like that. Yeah, but it's not said that in Al-Quran said no, just that rules, countries rules, but it's inspired from that. Yeah, there is a lot more.
So even if you are Catholic, you have to follow, like if you want to marry between Catholic people, you have to have like a marriage according to the Quran.
Yeah, it's just a simple rules like, oh wait, it's a little bit complex because there is a religion and the law. So it's okay if I follow the Catholic rules, but like if I want to divorce, because Catholic cannot divorce, right? But some Catholic also divorce, so they use the laws. They use based on the Indonesia laws, and that laws it's inspired by Quran. But
Oh,
it's not like literally in Quran say if you want divorce someone you must say talak or something, but you it's you don't need to say that, but just I think just the regulation, something like that. It's just one example. There is a lot of laws that inspired by Quran, but not that detailed, like must really similar with Quran, not like that. Just the regulation. Yeah.
wow.
How about you too?
Well, I think I studied law in my university, and
Okay.
I don't remember any law having being like brought from the Catholic law.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, some things, I guess, in a way, because, like, for example, marriage, I think mostly marriage. Uh, but it has been, it's like, I think kind of what you say, like it's taken from the idea of Catholic marriage, but it's also become part of like a law, and it's independent. Some people, like,
Mhm.
you can marry in the law and not in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
So I think that would be maybe the only relation between Catholic religion and law, marriage, but the rest,
Mhm.
I mean, the church still has some influence in law making, for example, in terms of abortion.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, same. And then
yeah,
him. Yeah. And then
they start to say, no, you're going to, and they're going to be there saying it's not good. But it's kind of like they're just a political party.
oh.
They're just a group of people who have an idea, and then they will do this kind of discussion. It's not like they are telling people what to do, kind of.
Mm.
Uh, or for example, but you know what is very important about Catholic culture in Colombia? The
Yeah.
education system.
Oh, why?
Actually, I think it was very important, at least until the 1940s or something
Mm.
like this. Before the 1940s, everybody in Colombia were studying in a Catholic school. Everybody,
Oh, everybody.
everybody. My mother, my father, both Catholic schools.
Oh,
Yeah, and
oh,
their teachers were always monks and nuns and these kind of things. Yeah,
yeah, me
super
too.
strong. You
Mm.
too?
Yeah, in Indonesia, basically there is a lot of school, like the public school usually teach Islam, but I'm not in public school, like I'm in not in the government school. Like my school is used to be when the Netherlands come, it's already a school, and then it's exists until now, and I go to that school, so I learn Catholic, and from I'm still kids until I'm senior high school, it's always a nun who lead, like nun or a father. Yeah, or brother. Yeah,
So your that nun or the brother was the headmaster, or he was your teacher?
headmaster.
Headmaster. The teacher was not
Usually
the.
headmaster.
Oh,
The
okay.
teacher is, yeah, different. Like the teacher there is nuns too, but it's like one or two, and the other is, yeah, just yeah, usual teacher, like they are married.
Okay.
But yeah, mostly the headmaster is always a nun or brother. It happened in all Catholic school in here usually. How
For
about
ex-
you?
yeah, how is it in Spain?
When I was maybe 4 years old, I had a teacher, a very old teacher, who made us pray for every class, and I didn't even know what. When I learned that, I didn't know what was the meaning of that. But you see the rest of your classmates praying, and you go praying as well. No, 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 like that. So
Mm,
in terms of ethics influenced by religion, I think in Spain, yeah, there's also that part of the church having influence in the society in terms of laws and abortion and all that stuff. But I think it's pretty much like it doesn't, social life doesn't go turn around religion anymore here. It's very, like, the people are very liberal, very, like, they do what they feel like, and they don't really care, and the influence of religion is much unexistent in today's society. But in countries like Bosnia, maybe there's much more of that, much more influence. There's also Muslims in Bosnia, and the rich people, if they are Muslim, they need to use some percentage of their wealth for public works. Like if
Wow.
some community doesn't have a like regular water source, they need to, like, if they are faithful to the religion, they have to like provide it for the community, found it, and make maybe some fountain or some source for water drinking, you know.
Mm.
I think that's very good about Islam. Um, my friend from Yemen, he was also telling me about how in the very rich Yemeni people and are Muslim people, they will have the obligation to redistribute their money into the to the people, because they say that Allah is the one who gives you the money, and it's like you were just lucky, you know, to get it from Allah. So because it's not actually you, it was Allah who gave it to you. You should give it to other people.
Oh, so
Mm.
how much? Like in Christian, usually you must give to other people like 10%. Do you know how much like Yaman people give?
I don't know.
In Spain, I'm sure they don't give the 10% because most of the people have like a middle income,
Yeah.
and the things are, maybe the food is okay, but the housing expenses are high. So I don't think that 10% is going to the poor people.
Mm. Okay.
What about Indonesia? The Muslim people, do they like, does religion influence their behavior?
Oh, of course. Like, yeah. There is a lot of, because in Indonesia there is a lot of like spiritual leader who tell people do something, and yeah, people just do like what they say. And in Indonesia there is I think there is what one institute, like a political institute, like in the government, it's about Muslim, like they have a fatwa, like if you do this, you cannot do this, you can do this, like haram or not haram, that kind of thing. Yeah, so people behavior also, yeah, also influenced by that.
Another thing that has been it's been increasing is especially here in Spain. I don't know about other countries, but here the gender politics are getting very strong. Like, how do you identify? How do you? What's your sexual orientation? Depending on that, how do you feel
Yeah.
about those things? It's, you might also succeed or not because there's a lot of political correctness here, I would
Yeah.
say. In China, it's completely different, I think, in that sense.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
guys in Colombia have a lot of that also?
Gender politics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting it's also strong, mostly feminism,
Mm-hmm.
and then abortion, and then LGBTQ rights.
Yeah.
So these kind of like movements are happening. They're happening, Um, for example, we got abortion legalized on 3 cases, which are like the mother is in danger or the baby is going to be very, very, very unhealthy, or rape.
Mm.
These are cases of legal abortion until like week 12 or something like this, the first 3 months. But it's not like you can just go to a clinic and get an abortion. That is still not legal, as far as I know.
Legal one.
Yeah. It, and
How
then
is the legal one?
the what? The what?
How is the legal one? You cannot just go to the clinic. So what the procedure, the regulation?
I'm not sure. I mean, you have to be able to prove that this one of these 3 things happened, like it was a rape, or
Ah,
and then you can go to a clinic and get it legally. But because with your girlfriend you had a mistake, you cannot have an.
oh,
I
I
think that's,
see.
and then people can change sex. That's
Yeah.
quite common, I guess. It's not as common as in maybe USA, where I think there's a very big situation about people changing sex. And I think it's not as common here, but I think if somebody changes sex here, it's going to be legal and they're going to have rights. So, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, here in Spain, the abortion is completely legal, but it's not like it's not public. You have to pay for it. It doesn't
oh,
come with the social system, social insurance or healthcare system. You have
Okay.
to go to the clinic and pay, but you can do it anytime. Like, yeah, if you just don't want to have that baby, you can just go to a clinic and make the procedure.
oh,
Yeah, like
oh,
where the values of our society, like what are the specific values that our society has for us, even if it's
oh,
individualism or collectivism, what does this culture want for us? And then we can see what's good about it, because it may be nurturing.
okay, okay. Okay, I will search. Wait, maybe I can share screen to explain
Yeah.
like later. So you guys first.
Do you want
Okay,
to
I'll
talk
go
first?
first.
Go.
Yeah, something that our society expect us to be is brave, because usually the people don't really like very introvert people. They here the Spanish people are very talkative. They like to hang out and stuff, and sometimes they can get really loud when they have a meeting or something. So the people really like someone to like prove their I don't know, like their attitude or something. And yeah, they usually don't really um, don't really get along well with people who are introverted, or like I think China and Spain doesn't fit very much in the communication aspect, because the Chinese people here in Spain, they really like allow other people to express themselves, and they always want to come last, you know. But Spanish people, they like for other people to like to prove themselves. I don't know if you can more or less like understand my point.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm, okay.
but
What
but I don't like this.
and what else? For example, what kind of a person you should be? Any other like ideas that are important for the Spanish culture, like of who you should be? even if it's to be individualistic. But why? You know, why is this going to be good for you?
Yeah, because um, you basically have to make a living for yourself, and like if you reflect too much on other ideas, like you it's because of the freedom. Like I think the freedom is a very important concept here, or at least in the media. You know, like you have to be free. You have to like do whatever you want, and you don't really you shouldn't let other people to get in your way. It's more or less like that.
Okay.
So I have a question. If you are very free, like what about if for example we can say that individualism and personal freedom is here and collectivism and like self-restraint is here, how does individualism relate to the idea of creating a good society? Like, you know what I mean? How are those two things like?
I think here those two things are a bit in odds. You know, there's a bit of a conflict because everyone's ideal life is to like take advantage of other people, but no one wants to be taken advantage on. You know, so there's a lot of conflict in that aspect.
Okay. I think we have kind of a similar culture here. Yeah. Yeah, really. We want to like, well, not we, but like I think the culture is also kind of, um, there's a lack of feeling for other people. So some people will be very individualistic and then they will be violent or they will be selfish and rob. A lot of corruption in the culture. So people will say, I want to take the money, so I'm just going to take the money, and then they will just
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
they don't think, oh, society is going to lose from this, or maybe, some people.
Yeah, I would say the Spanish society is not a very empathic one.
Really? Empathic?
Yeah, and there's not much empathy going on. Like whatever is good for you, that's what you should do. That's how people usually think.
Okay. I
But
also really,
then, yeah, you say?
I mean that I also think that Latin American people, they also have something that's similar to Spanish people. Like, you have to talk. If you don't talk, you're why are you hiding something? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah. If you don't talk, if you don't laugh, if you don't dance, if you don't do something, then people are gonna be like, you're weird. You're probably
Oh,
hiding.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
really?
You have to
Oh,
talk.
Mm,
I have
Yeah,
question. I have question for you
oh,
both.
go on.
uh, maybe I want to ask about what each of you like what each of you can like you can make your own decision of your life.
For example, what decision?
Maybe about a career or about your decision to maybe you want to go abroad, or yeah, it's your life. I mean, it's like your vision in life.
Oh,
Because
okay.
maybe Sandria, no, in Asia, uh, maybe from maybe the culture is different, right? So uh, maybe we still our family still like give a guide until we married, something like that.
Yes.
uh, so there is not not too freedom, not too free.
Not that
So
free.
we still stay on the rule.
Red line.
So
Yeah.
how about there? Because I think that this is will be so different. I think what age maybe you can really freedom to make your own decision about life.
Can I go?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in Spain it's maybe around 85% of individual decisions and maybe 15% influenced or imposed by other people.
Okay.
In regarding career, like people here choose very some careers that maybe don't have a lot of perspective, for the future, but they still choose them because they like to study that, even it's not very useful to get a job. But the people still like to choose that kind of stuff, like liberal arts or I don't know, cinema or acting or something like that. It's not very influenced by the family.
I think that here it can be maybe, I would say maybe 70-30, or depends, right? But maybe between 60-40, 80-20. I think 70-30 would be like a, or
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more. 65,
Oh.
65-35. Because um yes, people are very liberal and something, but uh I think that it relates a lot to economics. The way that some people will see their life will always be like related to the economic needs of their family.
Yeah.
uh, so like I have to make money because then my parents are going to need it, and then um this kind of idea, it's behind the decision making. But for example, mm, I mean, me personally, I think my family is not so close. I am close with my parents and my brothers and sisters, but for example, I don't think about my decisions in terms of my whole family, like my aunts on the two sides. Nothing, nothing really. Like they're, yeah, I mean, they're very far away. I think about my future for my parents and
Yeah.
myself and my family, my children. If my parents need money, I will do anything. I will work for them and I will change my life. But my uncle and my aunt and these things, I mean, I would help them because I love them, but they're not in my decision making. Almost 0%.
Yeah.
I think most
Yeah.
people are like this. Like they're more the nuclear family, So you're thinking
Yeah.
parents, okay, parents and brothers, but cousins, no, like too far. How about in Indonesia? Do you have a stronger like economic relation to the secondary family, to aunts and like this?
Oh, I think for economic, yeah, maybe little bit the same. I just concerned with my family, my father and my mother, something like that. So if they need some money, so I do something to give them money, something like that. But maybe the different thing is how to make a decision, like a career, like what should we study, and then married, something like that. Here in Indonesia, so like in our family, like we have a guide, something, we have rules, something like that. They still I mean they still in they still make decision with us, something like that. So not only
Yeah.
not only you make your decision. So that this must like a family decision, something like that.
Yeah, so me personally, I like you, like I don't care about my cousin said, my aunt said,
Mm.
but like in the daily life when you want to go university, you must always discuss it with your parents. What major do you choose? Luckily, my mom's it's like give me a freedom, but a lot of people like they still their parents are still concerned a lot about the kids' decision. It's not just education, not just career, but it's also in marry. So there is a
Yes.
lot of Indonesian people who marry somebody like this family wants something and this family wants something and they like discuss in a big family. Yeah, it's like complex.
So if in here, so like if you are married here, you like uh you you must what's that, make two family become one, something like that, not only you and her or you and him, something
Yeah.
like that. So
How about
the,
you?
the
You
two
would.
family,
You know,
so
here
more complicated.
it's interesting. I think it's interesting because, like, I don't know, like, I think that, for example, in Colombia, it's going to sound a little bit bad, but it's kind of true. Here we don't think you have to make two families into one.
Uh-huh.
Here we say you marry this person and his family.
Yes.
Yes.
So what we think, you see, it's different thinking. We think you have to see who this person family is for your convenience, you know, because
Mhm.
you are always going to be close to his mother, to his brother, to
Mm.
his, so you have to think about the family, yes, but think about it more about your convenience, how you feel about these people, if you think it's okay, if you're going to have a good life with them, if you're going to make friends, you know, the good, but it's more about you, but you're not really thinking about your other family, like
Nice.
that. This is kind of broken here, like you go here to this family, but this is like, then the other person will come to your family, you know, but this will be
Mhm.
broken, kind of.
Mm.
Oh, but that's nice. Hmm.
Oh.
But yeah, I think it's also interesting to have more group cultures. For example, you know, like the Jewish people, like you marry a Jewish person and you become like a Jewish everywhere in the world, and they will help you everywhere, and then you will.
Ah.
I think that's also good. It's hard. I don't know why more. I think the
Oh
Chinese
yeah,
are,
that
Yeah.
Chinese too, I think.
yeah, Chinese.
Sandria.
But Chinese, yeah, because Chinese people in Indonesia, even in Chinese, not that complicated, but Chinese in Indonesia is more complicated than the original Chinese, I think.
Oh really?
Really? It's like still we are still counting some some kind of Chinese people in Indonesia still believe in like supernatural and still counting about the date and the I think the culture also in original Chinese is already simplified, but in here still like traditional.
Like
It's like complicated, yeah.
Yeah, that's more complicated. And
Yeah.
then so because that's not, I think that's not easy, something like that. Because if we like, maybe in your country, if you like someone, yeah, it's just you and her, or you and him. But here, if maybe you love someone, but the family don't like you, it can be happen, and then you can't marry it with, if the situation like that.
no, we know. You can marry whoever you want.
Oh,
Nah, this is
nice.
the difference with here.
Because we are still like Asian mindset, like I said, like if you say you are more free. Like we are like a lot of people, majority of people still care about what others think, like what my neighbor said, what my friend says, what my relative said, even is a far relative. So yeah, a lot of people still concerned about that. But yeah, it's depend on people. Like me and Seprido maybe don't care about that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
because in Japanese we have something like if our family they always look the pipit pepet popot
What is that?
pipit. Nah,
It's
pipit is like ken or
getting
kinetic pipit. So like if your parents could something like that, if your family could, you will be good, something like that.
like the genetic of the parents all
Family,
come
nah,
on
genetic of family. Then puppet is like puppet is like your character, something like that. And then popot is like your career, something like that.
economic. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's they always look at the tree, this tree. Yeah, that's why it's so complicated.
How about in Spain?
In Spain, because there's a lot of like social welfare system, healthcare, public, and all that stuff. The people don't like when the people get older, they don't have to care that much about. I mean, being taken care of. Yeah, of course you have to take care of your parents, but you don't really need to provide them with that much money for their needs. So I think in that aspect, there's not as much dependence as in Asia, right? And about the marriage and all, mm, the parents are usually respectful with the children's decisions. You know, they don't like to. Of course, they can say their opinion. They can like say I like him or her or I don't, but they don't really like choose someone for you to marry or any. And yeah, that sometimes leads people to make wild decisions and to make some partnerships that are not very successful, and then they end up divorced, you know, because there's too much freedom.
Oh, okay.